All right, so we're gonna review Fight Club, and I'm gonna like go ahead and start out by asking like two kind of related questions. So, did you know going into the movie that um, Tyler Durden wasn't real, or like did you figure it out during the movie? And then also, either way, what did you like? What did you see as like the exact reasoning behind like why the filmmakers like made that choice?
All right, so I had never seen it before, so I didn't know that he wasn't real. So it was like a crazy plot twist.
Yeah.
But I think the creators of the movie kind of made this just kind of like as a projection of everything that he really wanted to be. Like he lived a pretty like mundane life and pretty boring. So Tyler's kind of a projection of like what life could be if he didn't care so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I've seen it twice now. And the first time I watched it, I had no clue. And I was just super confused and like super just like I was like, well, dang. I mean it makes sense, but like
Yeah.
when it went back and was showing like him realizing like Tyler wasn't real and then like going back and seeing like he could actually like change from when he was like looking at Tyler doing something and then it just like was actually like just him. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I thought the purpose of him creating him was like what you just said. It's literally Tyler was everything that he wanted to be, and it allowed him to do it, but he wasn't able to do it at the time.
Mhm.
And then creating this like second persona allowed him to do it. That's how.
Yeah. And it's also like a critique of like capitalist society, right? Like how he was like a part of that and then he had to like burn everything down to like gain his freedom, I guess.
Mhm.
Nancy, did you have any thoughts or just agree?
I mean, I just feel like I couldn't understand this film like deeply. I mean, I just got some superficial understanding of that because like obviously like Jack and I mean Taylor is another version of Jack, right? So but that is like a very superficial understanding and I feel like every person in a fight club like their purpose was to like fight against the society or something. But they seems to like I mean like their purpose seems not just this, but I couldn't tell like if they have some other purpose of like organizing or say join this fight club other than like fight against the society and to like find their existence within the society.
Yeah. I feel like that was the point because I think the Fight Club was like basically just a metaphor or like a
Their
something.
private tendencies.
Yeah.
Something I also when I watched like a film review that I saw something that was interesting and wondering if y'all like noticed this. I didn't think I noticed it until the film review pointed it out. But the main character, the narrator, he didn't actually have a name in the film.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Like when you're even looking at the Fight Club cast, it's like his name is the narrator.
Right.
And then like I think it was like about because I think they did that on purpose for the projection that like because he wanted to be Tyler. Like that was him all along, but it was just hidden underneath.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's crazy that like nobody around him ever like calls him by his name or anything. Like, um, did y'all notice in terms of like cinematography that the like little blips of Tyler like randomly showing up during the movie? Like he would show up for like half a second, like in a single frame.
Really? No, I didn't notice
Yeah.
that. Oh, that's cool.
You mean in like the background or like
Like it would just be a scene with the narrator and like Tyler's figure would just like pop up for like half a second, like randomly. I guess to like as a hint that he wasn't real. I don't know.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. No, I didn't see that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like this is actually my first time watching it, but I feel like there are so many details in it. Like after I watching the whole movie, I feel like wow, this scene like has this purpose and this like maybe this plot has some special meanings of that. But when I like see that plot, I didn't notice it. It was until the very end of the movie that I noticed that each plot, or say each shot, has its own meaning, or say the details. There are so many details and connections between like each plot.
Yeah. And I'm sure like Matt noticed that a lot, like watching it for the second time. Like got different perspectives on it. What else was interesting?
The girl, Marla.
Hmm.
Do you think like he kind of like projected Tyler as a way to get like confidence to even like approach her and like talk to her?
That's an interesting point.
Mm.
Because anytime he was like anytime like Tyler and her were having sex, he'd always imagine it'd be Tyler. But when they were just like with them, he was just with her.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah, Tyler was like the confident one. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
didn't really care.
That's a good point.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, in terms of the like social commentary, do you think it like I think this movie is like controversial and divisive because of like some people say it glorifies violence and like again, like even though it's like talking about going against capitalist society and like how we get stuck in like that type of like trend, like it uses violence to break away from that. And like especially at the end when the buildings like end up crumbling and stuff. So do y'all think that was like effective, or do you think it was kind of like muddled by the violence? Because I feel like that's a point a lot of people make.
No, I think I actually like the violence. Like I think it helped kind of just like to show like the only way to really break free from like the shackles of like the mundane, everyday, repetitive like life is to like explode through it, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I don't think the violence muddled it. I think it helped the point, but I think it's just like a different point. Like it doesn't like you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
Like it's their viewpoint is anarchy, so like a lot of times anarchy is violence.
Right.
So
yeah. I mean, honestly, I never like really get like buy into stuff like that, like critiques of movies like that, because it's a movie. Like
Exactly.
if you like see that movie and you end up going out and like you are affected by like they're committing violence, now I'm like gonna commit violence. Like
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know what else is interesting. I guess the character arc was pretty good for the narrator.
Mm.
Like he, in the end, he made like a realization.
Yeah, everything kind of came full circle.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like it was very interesting, like because we called the protagonist narrator and we didn't know like his true name, right? I think it is very interesting because I never seen movie that has the protagonist unnamed, and I think it has like a special purpose, but I can tell.
Can we call him the protagonist though? Or is he more of like kind of an anti-hero? Like
yeah. I don't know. Can Tyler be considered the protagonist even though he's not real,
right. Yeah, that's a good question.
or is he like an antagonist?
Hmm. See, like I could argue that Tyler would be the protagonist because even though like he did a lot of like violent like stuff and like was very destructive, um, he helped him like realize his true self. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's a good thing that he brought out.
right. Well, he also like, sorry,
I was just gonna say, I guess it's just the point of view of how you're looking at it.
Mhm.
yeah.
Or you can say,
Also, he like the narrator like kind of at the end when he learns about the plots to like blow up everything and all that stuff, he like kind of goes back on like Tyler went too far a little bit. So I don't know. That's like an interesting like they were anarchic, but then like I guess it's kind of a critique of like when it gets taken too far.
Yeah.
But then in the end they end up blowing the buildings up anyway. So I don't know. Like I definitely liked the movie. I thought it was very well done, like very good, but I feel like the ending message didn't like resonate with me that well. But I definitely understood it.
Mhm.
What was the archetype for this one? The initiation?
I think so. That sounds right.
I mean, I guess that applies because of like the Fight Club, but that's not really like the literal meaning of the movie, I guess.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I want to see how the group will
Present. Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
Mhm.
Did you notice like any threads in the movie, like any like themes that we've talked about, like capitalism and stuff? But
Right.
I don't
I
know.
think Tyler could be a thread.
I don't know. That's a good point. Can like a
It's like-
character be a thread?
Yeah, because like he doesn't like because you don't know he's not real at first.
Yeah, he's
And,
not
like-
actually a character. He's more of a theme. Like he's more of a manifestation of someone else's. Like, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Possibly he could be a thread.
Yeah, because like if you look at it with hindsight, it's definitely a thread because he's just recurring. It's more thematic since he doesn't actually exist. But
And he has a meaning behind him.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, what did you all? So what did you? I guess we can just like. What did you all think of the movie? Did you like it? Did you like? Did you get the meaning?
I think the second time watching it around, I understood it a lot more. The first one, I was super confused.
Yeah.
When I found out Tyler wasn't real, I was just like, "What?" But I liked it. I liked it a lot the first time I watched it, and I liked it this time too. But I think that I understand the message better now. So for people who don't understand it as much, should maybe watch it a second time if they have time. But I'd give it I'd give it 8.5 out of 10. I really liked it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I agree. I'd give it an 8 too. I was like a little like taken aback and like shocked when found out Tyler wasn't real, but
Yeah.
like it all made sense, like
Right.
you like actually like thought about it, like it really made sense. So like I really liked what they did with that.
In a way, like the fact that it's a twist like that kind of makes it more like makes the message resonate a lot more.
Exactly.
You don't realize it the whole time, and then you have to like think back when you
Right.
actually realize it.
Yeah, I agree. I will also give it 8 out of 10 because there are so many hidden meanings behind it, and I believe that if I watch it, say, twice, I'll get some fresh thoughts. And each time I watch it, I'll get some fresh thoughts. So I give it 8 out of 10, although it is dark, which is not something I like, but I admit that it is a good movie.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I wouldn't rewatch it a lot, but like I do definitely think it was a really good movie. Like
Yeah.
it was very well made, and it's like it's a classic, like
Mhm.
pretty much. There was one other thing I was gonna say, but I forgot. Anyway, all right, I guess we're good.
All right.